Whether you see podcasting as an instant way to get rich quick, like so often it is peddled online, or whether you understand that podcasting is a long-term endeavor or not, one of the things that you need to be consistent with is your willingness to do what I call the little work. The little work. And I'm going to dig into that in just 1 second, because I believe it's the secret to all success in any field at all. This, of course, is the Podcast Accelerator. I'm your host, Mark Asquith, CEO and founder of Rebel Base Media, where we make podcasting technology, including Captivate.fm, the world's only growth-oriented podcast host. Please go and check it out for a brand new experience in podcast hosting. No more dated interfaces. No more support staff that make you feel silly. No more general just upset from just kind of working with a system that's a little outdated. Go and try Captivate for a far better experience with your podcast hosting. You can check it out 7 days free at Captivate.fm. Also, I need to give a shout out to the free coaching that we're bringing back this week over in our podcast launch and growth tips group. Go and check it out. It's a Rebel Base Media Facebook group, and I'm going to be putting my free coaching that I've been doing for 5 years. I'm moving that this week on Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, into that group. It's a way of getting free coaching for 30 minutes every single Friday from me over in that group. So please go and check that out. It's the Podcast Launch and Growth Tips group. Go and please look for that. It's very clearly branded Rebel Base Media. You'll not miss it. Big, bold, black and white branding. Go and check it out, and I'll see you over there on Friday at 4 p.m. UK, 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific. Now, like I said, you've got to be willing to do the little work, all right? The reason that I've been able to build several successful businesses over the years is largely due to having amazing people around me and the willingness to get my hands dirty to do the little work. But are you willing to do the same to grow your podcast? Now, what do I mean by little work? All right, well, this is a really kind of, it's sort of a sponsor read as well as a little tip as well to start with. But, consider AWeber, the guys that power my email marketing. You should check it out, markasquith.com/AWeber. There's a lot of setup that I do inside AWeber to continue to optimize my email marketing through the team and through the different brands. And this kind of work is something that, sure, you could outsource it to a VA, you could outsource it to a marketing person, to a team. But actually, I'm a firm believer in something like that being done by the person running the business when the business is still in its early stages. And as a podcast, you're essentially a small business, all right? And so many people want to very quickly outsource everything, which is fine. I get that. But what you've got to do is understand what you should be outsourcing and what little work you need to do so that you understand every piece of the business. I have an understanding of every piece of every business. That's not to say that I work on every piece of it, but I have enough information on even some of the in-depth technicalities that Kieran is really the master on. I've got enough knowledge to be able to talk knowledgeably on them to anyone because I've done the little work. I've spent the time doing it. Things like relationship building, interviews, networking, setting up marketing, setting up templates for things. It's the little work. It's the little work that gets big results. And if you're not willing to do that, then you can't expect your podcast to grow. So many people come into podcasting thinking it's just a get-rich-quick thing. Honestly, if it was, I'd be retired in like Aruba somewhere, but I'm not. We're working hard, building tech platforms for podcasters. It is what it is. It's hard work like everything else. And the little work, getting your hands dirty, getting in there and sorting things out is really, really, really important. Social media management is one thing that I think is vital for a podcaster. But so many people want to outsource it early. How can you possibly understand what your potential listeners want if you outsource the listening? How can you do that? You can't, all right? Sure, as you grow, you can hire people to help you with that. But you need, while you're a small business, you need an eye and a finger on everything, all right? That's why every day I still dip into customer support on podcast websites. I still dip into customer support on Captivate.fm, and I still dip into customer support on Podcast Success Academy. Because it's important to get a feel for what's going on. Even though Sam and her team manages that wonderfully every single day, it's important for me to understand what's going on. So, what does little work mean for a podcaster? Well, it means making sure that you are the one interacting with guests, not the person that you're outsourcing that stuff to. It means that you are the person that is interacting on social media. It's you that is the one reaching out to people to be a guest on someone's show or for them to be a guest on your show. So many times I get a pitch. Hey, it's, Louise, and I'm an assistant to Sandra, and she wants to be on your show. And I'm like, well, first up, holy crap, Louise, like you've not listened to this show, have you? I'm a solo show. And tell Sandra, I'd be very up for a collaboration if she'd put the time in to understand. All right? And that's what I'm talking about here, because podcasting is getting big. It's getting big. It's growing up. And so many people think they can automate so much of it. And whilst you need that layer of automation, you do need to delegate. You do need to build your team. It's about when you do it. And it's about what things you outsource, all right? Please do the little work. It'll be different for everyone, but that little down and dirty, I shouldn't probably be doing this. It's someone else's job. Yeah, I get like that as well. I feel like that. Like, why am I doing this marketing plan? And the reason for that is that it's the little work. I have to understand it because, look, you're like me. If you are the podcaster, then you are the CEO, regardless of whether you like it or not. I don't like that term, CEO. It makes me feel weird. But if you are the podcaster and you're going to hire a team in, you are the de facto CEO. And every CEO is accountable for their business. The buck stops with you and me, all right? It stops with us. So we have to understand everything, and we have to have done every part of our business. We have to have done customer support in our case. We have to have done design, layout, and composition, or signing off design, layout, and composition. We have to understand everything. The editing of our podcast, the social management of it, the guest booking process, the marketing process, the audio process in terms of recording, the technical processes, the gear, the stuff we use, all right? There is so much that we have to understand, and it's all the little work. I know some of the biggest podcasts on the planet that still do their own editing. They still do their own editing. And if it's good enough for them, it's good enough for us, all right? So think about it. Please be willing to do the little work, all right? Listen, if you want to chat on this, come along to the free coaching. It's 4 p.m. UK, 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific. Go ahead. If you want that link, go to rebelbasemedia.io/free coaching. That will send you to the group, all right? rebelbasemedia.io/free coaching. That will send you to the group. And of course, we will see you in there this week. So until the next time, thanks for joining me. And never forget, the more you expect from yourself, the more you will excel.